Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Leadership Insight, where today we are going to talk about finding balance in life's chaos. Come on in. Welcome, everyone. I am excited to share today's Leadership Insight on finding balance in life's chaos. I definitely like finding peace, and so we may use the word balance and peace interchangeably today because let's be real. Life has been lifing, and if we were in the church, we'd be like, "Can I get an amen?" Because life can start lifing at times. When we're talking about between work, personal responsibilities, and everything in between, it is so easy to feel overwhelmed. But as leaders or as future leaders and just people, everyone in the workplace, our ability to manage chaos often finds our impact. And so for this session, it's really about recognizing that while emotions are 100% natural, you all, they shouldn't control our leadership. And definitely aspiring leaders, this is something that's very important to be able to not allow your emotions to control any situation. So we're going to explore how to regain control, develop personal strategies for peace and balance, and build resilience needed to lead effectively while when life feels out of control. Our 2 points for today is going to be managing your internal world and managing your external world. And the truth of the matter is, please understand chaos, busyness, extra responsibilities, whatever you want to say is going to be inevitable. But how you control it is what's going to define your peace. It's also going to define your leadership strength. When things feel out of control, stress at work, difficult boss maybe, or maybe your workload is just beyond overwhelming, or you could be having personal struggles right now. Maybe there are problems with your children. Maybe you're going through a divorce and you have to work and get through all of this. You might feel frustrated, exhausted, or just plain old emotional. And that is human. But here's when we talk about leadership and how we should start showing up as leaders. Understanding your emotions are valid, but you should never use that as an excuse to lash out. I know plenty of you have had, or maybe you're currently in a situation where you're dealing with that bad boss. You're dealing with that boss that lashes out. And dare I say, lack of leadership. So think about this. If a leader explodes under pressure, what happens to their team? If you're in that situation right now, you're going to probably say you feel overwhelmed. You do not want to connect with anyone. You definitely don't want to connect with your boss that's lashing out. You may feel completely withdrawn. And what happens to the progress? You're not going to be successful, right? For the most part. This leads into so many different areas when we're talking about team dynamics. Instead, listen, this is what we want. Great leaders learn what works best for them to de escalate, to refocus. And that's what a great leader does. That's how they're able to do these things. Maybe it's stepping away for a moment. Maybe it's writing down your frustrations. Some people practice deep breathing before responding, and that's the key. You need to know yourself. There is no way of getting around it. You need to know your own triggers. You need to know what's going to drive you to the right or drive you to the left, or matter of fact, what's going to just turn you around and go home. The key is to know yourself. And if there is something about your reactions that you don't like, so for instance, if you fly off the handle, I am here to tell you all you have to do is commit to working on it. If you bust out crying when someone challenges you, I am telling you that you need to commit to working on it. Leadership is not about being perfect, it's about being aware, it's about being adaptable, and it's about your own particular growth. So let's go ahead and break this down. Our first point, managing your internal world. The first step in handling external chaos is managing what's happening on the inside. Here's what it looks like. Self awareness is power. Pay attention to what triggers stress or frustrations within you. Are there certain types of situation? Are there certain types of people? Or is it the environment that may throw you off and may get you a little bit off balance? Whatever it is, that's why it's so important to be self-aware and know your particular triggers. Also, recognize your patterns. Do you tend to shut down? Do you lash out? Do you become overwhelmed? Do you procrastinate when you're overwhelmed? Understand not just self awareness, but you need to know your patterns. Own your emotions, but don't let them own you. We're not going to run away from them. We're going to recognize them. We're going to confront them instead of reacting on impulse. How about take a quick walk? Maybe you need a moment to assess. For instance, you could say to yourself, instead of, for some of you, you are Peter Popoffs. We're not going to do Peter Popoff right now. I want you to take a step back and say to yourself, don't say it out loud because people may start wondering a little bit if you start talking out loud to yourself. I'm just saying. But ask yourself, what's the best response? What's the best response? And then in your mind, think that out and then respond. Our last thing that I want you to think about is develop a personal reset strategy. That's right, a personal reset strategy. Now, this could be mindfulness. Maybe you need to take a step away. Maybe you need to listen to a 5-minute meditation. Maybe it's journaling for you where you can step off to the side, even if it's go to the bathroom, wherever it is for you. Maybe you need to do a quick journaling. Maybe it's a walk. Maybe you need to get outside in nature. Maybe you need some vitamin D. Or maybe for you, you can work on deep breathing. You need to develop. If you do not have a personal reset strategy, please let that be something that you work on this week. And again, you need to know what works for you and understand this too. Just because your neighbor can go do yoga and that resets them totally, they can spend 10 minutes and you sit here like, yoga, what? Just because that works for them does not mean that's going to work for you. I like mindfulness. Just because it works for me does not mean, ma'am, it's going to work for you. You need to find your reset strategy. Thus, don't be afraid to try these things. And if they're not working, try something else. Just don't assume just because it works for Linda that it's going to work for Michelle. Just because it works for Sally doesn't mean it's going to work for Ann. So understand that. The best leaders understand that emotional intelligence is also more powerful than intelligence alone. If you struggle with self regulation, that's okay. I want you to work on it. People respect leaders that stay composed even during storms. Our second point is finding balance. It's all about managing your external world. How you structure your world, you can't control everything, but there are things that you can control. What you say yes to, that is something that you can control. Listen, I need you to stop overcommitting out of guilt. Some of you will say yes to just about anything because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Or maybe it's the fear of missing out. You say yes because you're like, I don't want to be the only one. Stop. You can control what you commit to. A clear no can be more powerful than a hesitant yes. And it is okay to say no. So please stop overcommitting yourself. Also, how you prioritize makes a difference. Not everything urgent is important. Do you hear me? Some of you will stop what you're doing the minute this particular email pops in your box or any email pops in your box and yet you were focusing on writing this report, right? You're focusing because you know that this report needs to be done and you hear the ding. Not every email is urgent and not everything that's urgent is important. Leaders focus on what moves the needle rather than reacting to every crisis. And in my job, if I were to or react to everything that is coming my way, I would literally not be speaking to you. I'll probably be committed somewhere. Because you will have to understand your response is always going to be important. And your response is your energy, is some of your essence. And we have to stop giving our energy and our essence away. Also, I want you to understand that not only you have to be careful to what you're saying yes to, you need to know how to prioritize. You also need to understand your recovery time. If you're always running on empty, you are going to crash. Build internal pauses, whether it's quiet time in the morning, maybe it's a lunch break without emails. Maybe you walk away and actually, like we did in the olden days. What was the olden days? I'm looking at my team. It was about 5 years ago. It was before the pandemic, where everyone actually could step out and take a lunch and stayed away from their computer. You need to understand your recovery time. And again, maybe that's setting a hard deadline. This is what I'm going to stop. It's a certain hour and you adhere to it. Your environment is also important. Chaos loves company. You heard that. Chaos loves company. So surround yourself with solution focused people who can help bring that clarity and not drama. Can we leave drama for TV? Can we leave drama for reality shows? Can you not bring those dramas into your working environment? Leave the drama and surround yourself with people that are more solution focused versus drama focused. Because again, remember, chaos loves company and we want to stay away from the chaotic round. Peace isn't about eliminating chaos. Balance isn't about eliminating chaos. It's about knowing what matters and leading yourself first. That's your responsibility. Lead yourself first. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to wrap us up. So, what do we cover today? Chaos is inevitable, but how we respond defines our leadership. Your emotions are valid, but you should control them. Control your actions, develop self awareness and strategies. Also, remember balance starts from within, peace starts within. Manage your internal world first. Recognize your triggers, regulate your emotions, and reset when needed. Please protect your priorities, set those boundaries, know when to say no, and focus on what matters to you, what matters to the job. Leaders who thrive in chaos don't avoid it, they learn to master themselves within it. And when you do that, you won't just advance in your career, but you're going to elevate everyone around you. Now, I challenge you. What is one thing that you'll do differently this week to find more balance or to find more peace? Think about it, write it down, and start leading with intention. Now, join me next week for more incredible insights. You deserve nothing but the best. It's my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career to new heights together.